The murder trial of two Italian immigrants, Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti, was one of the most controversial legal cases in American history. Millions of people around the world followed the case, and it raised fundamental questions about civil liberties and the rights of immigrants that are as alive today as they were in the 1920s. World War I had just ended and anti-radical sentiments were running high in America. After World War I and the Bolshevik Revolution, a nationwide fear of communism, socialists, anarchists, and other groups swept across the country and took a hold of people's nationality and democratic way of thinking. Agents broke into the homes of suspected radicals, arrested them, and seized their possessions. Many were deported, and most of the victims were foreigners, including Russians, Italians, and Jews. Two men stood out among the radicals, Sacco and Vanzetti. They were Italian-born, residents of Boston, respectable workers, and dedicated anarchists. They were arrested for the crime. On April 15, 1920, in Massachusetts, a paymaster and a guard were shot and killed by two unknown men that also stole the payroll of a shoe factory in South Braintree. The paymaster and guard left the company's executive office carrying a cash payroll of a little over $15,000. Walking towards the main factory, they were assaulted by two gunmen. The guard was shot 4 times and the paymaster twice. Grabbing the payroll, the robbers reportedly fired a signal shot. A dark Buick sped up from the opposite direction beyond the factory. The robbers escaped over the railroad tracks, dropping nails to flatten the tires of anyone that might follow, and they quickly vanished. The state's evidence that attempted at showing their guilt was flimsy, and the witnesses for the prosecution gave confused, contradictory testimony. The judge of the case was known for his strong anti-radical belief. The two men were questioned extensively on their political beliefs, which were irrelevant to the case. Jurors were more persuaded by Sacco and Vanzetti's identity of Italians and anarchists than by the actual evidence presented. Sacco and Vanzetti proclaimed their innocence, but they were convicted and sentenced to death. Appeal after appeal was denied. The case became an international cause. Marches and riots were organized worldwide. In August 1927, the state of Massachusetts, which had condemned Sacco and Vanzetti as violent and dangerous men, mobilized 500 heavily armed policemen to suppress protests and bring the two men to electric chairs. In December 2005, the LA Times reported that a man from California who was browsing through boxes at an auction discovered a letter dated 1929 from the famed muckraker Upton Sinclair. Sinclair was going to publish a novel called Boston about the murder trial of Sacco and Vanzetti, which supported their innocence. This letter revealed Sinclair knew more than he let on about the case. In the letter, Sinclair described a meeting with Fred Moore, who was Sacco and Vanzetti's lawyer at the time. They were alone in a hotel room, and Sinclair begged for the full truth. Moore told him that the men were guilty, and described how he framed a set of alibis for them. So why did he lie? Sinclair thought he would be attacked for not supporting Sacco and Vanzetti, and the book would not be published. So it is believed that Upton Sinclair felt that the opinions of their foreignness, being Italian, and their political beliefs, which were anarchism, left them an unfair trial. At execution, Sacco said, "Long live anarchy," but Vanzetti continued to say that he was innocent. The question of Sacco and Vanzetti's guilt still troubles the world today, and observations suggest that Sacco really was guilty, while Vanzetti was innocent. In 1961, a test of Sacco's gun using modern forensics proved it was his gun that killed the guard, but little evidence has been found to prove Vanzetti's guilt. Still, some people uphold the belief that they are both innocent.